So starting in our child's pose position, remember to use your deep belly breathing throughout the practice. And we're just working on opening up the chest and the shoulder girdle today. So on your inhale, just slowly starting to roll forwards, tucking your chin, pressing through the palms. Start to round your spine as you roll forwards into an upwards dog position. You can relax the feet down onto the mat, draw the knees a little closer, let the thighs come down, hips come down, and start to roll the shoulders behind you. So you really want to create space in the chest here. See if you can lift the chin, keep squeezing the shoulder blades together. And as you exhale, just tucking the chin, start to round your spine as you roll back into your child's pose. So draw the big toes together, let the hips come down to the heels, let the chest sink down through the shoulders, and keep pressing the palms down into the mat. We're going to flow through that 2 more times. Try and move with your breath. So a deep inhale, rounding your spine, tucking the chin, tuck the tailbone, really pressing into the upper back. As you start to find your way into upward dog, just draw the knees a little closer, let the hips come down, draw the shoulders behind you, lift the chin, create space in the chest. And on your next exhale, rolling back into your child's pose. So big toes together, knees nice and wide as your mat. See if you can press the belly button down between the thighs. And a deep inhale, rolling forwards, really pressing into the upper back, taking the hips down, rolling the shoulders behind you, lift the chin. And as you exhale, bending the elbows, laying down onto the mat. So here we're going to just work on opening up the chest, stretching out the quads. We're going to come into a bow pose position. So let's begin by taking the hands just under the chin. You want to start to engage the muscles in the back. So on your inhale, start to lift the heels up nice and high, lift the legs, keep them as straight as you can. So just the torso and the belly are on the mat. And exhale, releasing down. Now focusing on the upper body. So as you inhale, lifting the chest off the mat. Really focus on the breath. You're trying to hold your breath. Maybe lift the chin if it's possible. And exhale, releasing down. Inhale, lifting the legs as high as you can. Trying to engage the muscles running down the back of the legs. And as you exhale, releasing down. And inhale, lifting the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe lift the chin as well. And exhale, releasing down. Just take the hands down under the shoulders. We're going to bend the left leg, draw the foot over to the right side. So you can use your hands here. Try and let that left hip lift up. Try and tap the floor just on the right side. And then coming back to the center. Extend the leg down, bend the right knee, and drawing that foot over to the left side. So we're just trying to find a little bit of movement here before we come to a longer hold. Try and flow with your breath. Just finding a little bit more mobility each time you come through, and just seeing how far you can take that leg over. One more on each side, and then we'll meet back in the middle. So finding your way back to your belly. We're going to draw the right foot up. We're going to lay the left elbow and palm down onto the mat. And what we want to do is we focus on back bends. Just really focus on lengthening the spine, trying not to compress the lower back. So your left arm is going to help you here. It's going to be holding all of the body weight. The right arm is going to reach back towards the right foot. If you have a towel or a yoga strap, you can use this now to find a comfortable grip there. We want to hold the inside of the foot so that your chest come down. On your inhale, start to kick the foot into the hand. Really roll the right shoulder behind you. Imagine you're lifting the foot towards the ceiling. Maybe lift the chin and the chest a little further. And 3 deep breaths here. As you exhale, release down. Take the right hand arm down in front of you.
Start to bend the left leg, reach your left arm back. Remember to roll that shoulder behind you, hold the inside of the foot. Make sure the right elbow and palm is grounded onto the mat. And on your inhale, start to kick the foot into the hand. You're going to feel a deep stretch in that quad. You might feel the shoulder opening up a little bit more. Maybe lift the chin and the chest. Focusing on your breath here. And exhale, releasing down. Just rest the left arm down. We're going to come into a full bow pose now. If that feels like too much for you, we can just come through a single leg bow pose. So rest your body down. Start to bend the knees. Then we want to hold the inside of the feet. So try and press the thumb down onto the sole of the foot. Make sure the fingers are clasping onto the top of the foot. And when you're ready on the inhale, kicking the feet up into the hands. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Let the legs lift the upper body up. See if you can lift your chin. Just focusing on that breath. And as you exhale, releasing down, rest your arms down. Just rest the head down onto the hands. Take a few easy breaths here. We're going to come through that one more time. So when you're ready, coming back to the center, bending the legs, reaching the arms back. Maybe you can do single leg at a time or coming into your full bow pose. Make sure the hands are on the inside of the feet. You're squeezing the shoulder blades together. We're going to hold for 5 deep breaths. So as you inhale, kick the feet into the hands. Let the legs lift the chest. Try not to let the knees flare out. You want to keep your body nice and aligned. Maybe gaze up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breaths here. And as you exhale, releasing the legs down, ground your hands just under the shoulders and rolling back into your child's pose. So big toes together, knees nice and wide. Let your palms ground down onto the mat. You want your knees as wide as your mat. And a few easy breaths. And then on your inhale, just start to come up to seated. So coming into our hero pose position. We're going to take the knees hip distance apart. We're going to just sit down onto the heels. And we're going to really focus on, again, lengthening out the front of the body. So let's come up onto the shins. We're going to come into a half camel pose first. Again, this is going to open up the shoulder girdle. It's going to engage the quads and it's going to stretch out the front of the body. So starting on the right side, we're going to reach that right hand back towards the right heel. You want to try and let your fingertips come down towards the heel. Or a modification is taking the hand to the lower back. So find a position that's comfortable for you. Remember to always focus on creating length down the spine, trying not to compress the lower back. You can let your left hand come onto the left hip and then start to see if you can press your hips over the knees. Either staying there or reaching the left arm up. And wherever you are, taking 3 deep breaths here. Each time you inhale, think about lengthening your spine. And each time you exhale, see if you can press the hips a little further forwards. Just try and relax the head and the neck. And on your inhale, tucking the chin, rocking the hips back, finding your way back up onto your shins. Let's take the left hand behind us, either onto the lower back or fingertips towards the heel. Your right hand can rest on the hip. And when you're ready, start to press the hips forwards, maybe circling the right arm up and over, finding your half camel pose. Remember to really press your hips forwards and use the breath to come a little deeper into the posture. And then on your inhale, coming back to center, we're going to flow through that. So circle around to the right side, hand to the lower back or the heel. Press the hips forwards, engage the quads, create length on the front of your body. Gazing up at the left hand. And as you exhale, circling back down through the middle, round to the left side. Hand to the heel or the lower back. Just choose a position that suits your body. And one more time on each side. Hand round to the right. Press the hips forwards, engage the quads. See if you can press your hips over the knees. And exhale, sinking back round to the left side. Open up to your half camel pose, maybe gazing up at the right hand. And then slowly releasing down. You can drop the hips down to the heels. We're going to draw the knees nice and close. And just slowly let the chest fall down onto the thighs. Forehead down towards the mat. Release your arms down next to you. And just a few deep breaths here before we come into our full camel. On your next inhale, start to draw the hands close. Come all the way back up to seated. We're going to take the knees so they're hip distance apart. Let the heels come out in line with the knees. And then coming up onto the shins. So we're going to come to a full camel pose hold here. Again, the modification is hands onto the lower back. If you're coming into your full camel, you're going to be taking the hands down towards the heels. So we really want to engage the quads here. Start to press your hips forwards. Start to roll the shoulders behind you. See if you can squeeze the elbows together. And either staying there or reaching the fingertips down towards the heels. Maybe one or both hands can find the heels. And wherever you are, start to press your hips forwards over the knees. Start to squeeze the shoulders together. And see if you can let the head relax down behind you. Focus on that deep breathing. Keep pressing the chest up towards the roof. And then on your next inhale, finding your way back up. So tucking the chin, rocking the hips back, and just pressing up onto the shins. You can drop the hips down to the heels here. We're going to stretch out the front of the body a little bit more. So coming to a reclined here is going to really stretch out the quads. Your knees are hip distance apart. The hands are going to come behind you, fingertips pointing towards the toes. And we're going to see how deep we can come into the posture. So when you feel a deep enough stretch, you can just stop there. What you want to start to do now with each exhale, see if we can come down towards the mat. So maybe start to drop the elbows down towards the mat. Again, here you'll feel a deep stretch in the quads. If that's enough for you, you can stay there. Maybe let the head and the neck fall back. We're going to stay here for about 10 seconds. And if you feel like you want to come deeper into the posture, you can start to take the head down towards the mat. There is a slight back bend happening here, so just be mindful of anything happening in your lower back. And if you're coming to your full reclined hero, try and let the head rest down. You can leave your arms down alongside you or start to reach the hands overhead, holding onto the elbows. And just tuning into that breath. And then on your next inhale, finding your way back up. So if you're in your full reclined hero, taking the hands towards the feet, we're going to roll the head behind us, ground the elbows down, and then slowly start to press all the way back into your hero pose. And just coming down into child's pose. So start to walk the hands far forwards, knees nice and wide. Let the chest fall through the shoulders. And just taking a few deep